Hey, we want to welcome you guys back to Marriage Talk TV, and we want to finish up this session on communication.
And having good conversation, with your mate, your spouse, your significant other.
And so we talked about previously on the broadcast how communication works and how important it is to have effective communication. So now we're going to talk about having good communication. And one of the things that you should apply to good communication is understanding. What do you think?
Yes, it's very good to understand the likes and dislikes of your spouse, to understand what topics they enjoy speaking on, so you can spend more time discussing that topic. Learn about that topic for yourself so that you can dialogue with your mate on that topic. Also, I want to talk a little bit about the negative aspect, the enemies of communication, if I may, when it comes to we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but using communication as a tool to get what you want, or verbal abuse, for instance, being very negative, speaking down to an individual. Those are the things that we try to avoid in developing this good conversation with your spouse. You don't want to treat them as a, what should I say?
Object or...
Yes, an object of your frustration, just pouring out on them because you're upset, you're mad at something that didn't work for you or something that you don't agree with. You don't use it as a punishment tool. You should never use your communication as a punishment for your spouse or your mate. Because
you will reap what you sow. If you do use it as a punishment, I guarantee you that spouse or that significant other is going to catalog that, and they're going to at one point need to retaliate against that negative communication. But we're here to just get a greater understanding of effective communication. There are forms of communication that are ineffective. I think we all know what that is. We call it arguing, or we call it intense times of fellowship, or we just call it nonverbal communication. And those are ineffective forms of communication. And what are nonverbal forms of communication? Is when you do this. Silence.
Did I just roll my eyes? Yeah, I think
yeah, you roll them again. But yeah, it's a part of that ineffective communication. And no one likes to be ignored. No one likes to be made to feel like they're a burden or a problem to someone. So we've got to learn how to, as couples, communicate effectively with one another. And when we do that, you will see that your relationship will go to a whole nother level. Your marriage will go to a whole nother level. Your intimacy will go to a whole nother level. Once you begin to communicate effectively with one another, everything in your marriage goes to a whole nother level.
Yes, I agree. And again, it goes back to making deposits into that emotional love bank. And as you build those deposits, withdrawals will be great when it comes to enjoying time with one another. But if you don't constantly pour into one another, you will have nothing there. Your love bank will be empty, and there will be no withdrawals to be made.
And everybody likes withdrawals. You know,
not the negative kind, but the good kind.
And I didn't say withdrawals. I said withdrawals. Everybody likes withdrawals, like deposits in the bank. You like to deposit the money in there, but you also like to take it out when it's time. Same thing with communication. You like to deposit effective things in that relationship. You like to deposit positive things in that relationship. So when it's time to take those positive things out, they're there. Yes. But what happens in so many cases is that couples don't communicate effectively, and then when it comes time to effectively communicating with one another, there's a blank check written. And how many of you know when you write a blank check, something happens?
Insufficient funds.
Insufficient funds. You can have insufficient funds in your communication. And you wonder why you're having the same argument over and over and over again. It's because you're not making deposits into that communication level or into that skill. And there is a skill to communicating.
Yes.
And the best person to help you to communicate is the person you're talking to. Not you. But yeah, your spouse is the best person to help you communicate when you're trying to effectively communicate.
And for you guys, your spouse, your significant other of the opposite sex, the female, we are very good communicators. So that's why we are the best one to help you to communicate. When it comes to the grunts, we give you understanding as to how to verbally express yourself without the grunts.
But grunting is good in its place. But we are to open our mouths and say exactly what we want, to say how we feel, and we have to do it in a very tactful way, because sometimes communication can be done in an untactful way and it causes arguments. And you really don't want that. You really want to be able to talk to your spouse in an effective way that blesses the whole family.
Last thing, did he say grunts are good in this place?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I'm not going to go there with him. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in to our second broadcast when it comes to effective communication and developing good conversation.
Oh, yeah. And good conversations is a must. So we look forward to ministering to you guys again. Again, please email us your comments, questions, and concerns. Where can they email us?
And look, guys. On our banner, MarriageTalkTV.org. Now, it is tied into our website, our main website. It's DannyAmelia.org. But MarriageTalkTV.org is our website where we will be posting all our YouTube videos of our sessions. And also our Gmail address is MarriageTalkTV@gmail.com. MarriageTalkTV@gmail.com.
Thank you for joining us. This has been Marriage Talk TV with your host, Danny and Amelia Cole. If you would like further information concerning Marriage Talk, please log on to our website at DannyAmelia.org. Please stay tuned for scenes from our next week's broadcast.
For hours, you've had great conversation. You were making deposits into that emotional love bank, as we like to say. A lot of choo-choo.